All right, let's dive right into a true classic, a tale packed with chaos, comedy, and some serious combat. We're doing a fast-paced, scene-by-scene retelling of Goscinny and Uderzo's incredible graphic novel, Asterix and the Big Fight. So, picture this. It's 50 BC. The massive Roman Empire has steamrolled its way across all of Gaul. Well, almost all of it. There's this one tiny village in Armorica that just refuses to give in, totally surrounded by fortified Roman camps. This little place, it's the very last pocket of Gaulish freedom. So you've got to be wondering, how does this one village hold off the entire might of Rome? Well, let's meet the heroes at the center of it all and uncover the secret that's about to be put in some serious jeopardy. Okay, at the heart of our story are these incredible Gauls. First up, you've got Asterix. He's the brains of the whole operation, a super shrewd warrior they send on all the dangerous missions. He's basically never without his best buddy, Obelix, a Menhir delivery guy with a legendary appetite for wild boar. Now, Obelix fell into the druid's cauldron as a baby, so he's permanently super strong. And leading them? That's their majestic, brave, and kinda hot-tempered chief, Vitalstatistix, who's only really afraid of one thing, the sky falling on his head. And here is the village's secret weapon, their ace in the hole. This is the venerable druid, Getafix. He's the one who climbs the oak trees, gathers mistletoe with his golden sickle, and brews the magic potion that gives everyone temporary superhuman strength. This potion and this druid are the only things keeping the Romans from overrunning the place. He is, without a doubt, the most important person in the village. The Romans, meanwhile, are getting really tired of being clobbered all the time. So they've come up with a new, much sneakier plan. They're going to use an old Gaulish tradition against them, the big fight. The idea is to back a pro-Roman Gaulish chief to challenge Vitalstatistix. If their guy wins, they get legal control of the village without lifting a sword. It's a pretty clever and nasty strategy. But just as the Roman plot starts taking shape, a way bigger problem pops up from right inside the village. A simple, totally freak accident is about to throw our heroes into absolute chaos. And hey, if you're settling in for this classic tale, now's a perfect time to show some support by hitting that like and subscribe button. It was a complete accident. Obelix, being the gentle giant he is just carrying one of his menhirs through the forest. Getafix, totally distracted looking for herbs, steps right into his path. Wham! The collision is unavoidable. With this dull thud, the huge stone hits the druid right on the head. The village's one and only hope is knocked out cold. And the consequences, oh, they are devastating. When Getafix finally wakes up, he is not himself at all. He has total amnesia. He has no idea who he is, he doesn't recognize his friends, and this is the critical part. He has completely forgotten the recipe for the magic potion. Just like that, the village is totally vulnerable, right when this Roman challenge is about to happen. His mind is just scrambled. When a totally desperate Asterix suggests maybe another little tap from a menhir could fix it, Getafix just blurts out this nonsense. It's pure gibberish. This one line just perfectly shows you how bad the situation is. Their wise, respected druid has turned into a raving lunatic. So, with their greatest protector totally out of commission, the village's fate is literally hanging by a thread. If you're enjoying this deep dive into a classic adventure, now is a fantastic time to hit that like and subscribe button for more explainers just like this one.
Okay, so with no memory and no magic potion, Asterix and Obelix have to get creative, and their attempts to cure Getafix, well, they lead to some of the most frantic and hilarious experiments you can imagine.
At the exact same time, the local Roman centurion sends a spy to figure out what in the world is going on. So meet Cassius Ceramix, a poor legionary who gets the lovely job of disguising himself as a tree to sneak up on the village. Little does he know he's about to become a very, very unwilling test subject. With Getafix just randomly throwing anything he can grab into his cauldron, I'm talking flowers, shoes, an old instrument, Asterix and Obelix figure they need to test these bizarre brews. And who's the perfect candidate? Well, how about that weird-looking tree just hanging out at the edge of the forest? Their method is simple: brew it up, test it out, and watch the madness unfold. The results are, well, they're spectacular, just not in a good way.
One potion turns the poor Roman spy this garish green and yellow, another makes him cycle through a whole rainbow of colors, and one brew is so potent it makes him lighter than air, and he just floats away like a balloon. The potions are completely useless, and their only test subject is now literally gone with the wind.
I mean, this scene is just pure, beautiful chaos, and it's a perfect example of the series' visual comedy. As our heroes watch their only lead just drift away into the sky, it's a great moment for you to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us bring more of these stories to you. Okay, so they're completely out of options. The Gauls send for an expert, Psychoanalytics, a famous druid from Lutetia who specializes in diseases of the mind. He shows up and sets up a consulting hut, complete with a little couch for his patients. His methods are, shall we say, unconventional. He basically just tries to shock Getafix's memory back with scary stories. But yeah, even that doesn't seem to be working. And that's it. Time has officially run out. The day of the big fight is here. All the Roman scheming and all the Gauls' desperate attempts to find a cure are all about to come to a head in one single decisive showdown. The Romans, totally sure they're going to win, have turned the whole event into this massive fairground just outside the village. We're talking dodgem chariots, roller coasters, food stalls. You can practically smell the roasted boar and chips in the air. It's this whole festive atmosphere for what might just be the village's very last day of freedom. So let's break down the matchup here. In one corner, you've got Chief Vitalstatistix. He has no magic potion. He's relying purely on his natural strength and a whole lot of guts. In the other corner, you have the Challenger, a massive mountain of a man, who is brutal, overconfident, and almost certainly juiced up on some Roman mage strength potion. The odds are just impossibly stacked against our chief. The fight starts and it is a massacre. Vitalstatistix is getting tossed around the ring like a rag doll. He is pummeled, he is smashed, he is completely overwhelmed. The villagers can only watch in horror as their chief gets beaten down, and there's nothing they can do. The Roman plan is working perfectly. But then, the turning point. Getafix, who had just been kind of wandering around making a new weird potion nearby, is finally brought to the ringside. And the shock of seeing his chief being beaten so badly, that is the final violent jolt his mind needs. His memory comes rushing back. He shouts, "Aha! That bit of news restored all my strength." He remembers. He's back. And just like that, the tide has turned. With the druid's memory finally restored, the climax of this fight and the entire fate of the village is about to take a very dramatic and very decisive turn. Getafix works with lightning speed. He quickly whips up a fresh batch of the real magic potion. A battered Vitalstatistix drinks it down, and the effect is instant. He gets back to his feet, winds up, and ends the entire fight with one single spectacular punch. Chack! His opponent goes flying right out of the ring. And victorious, Vitalstatistix does a little victory lap, channeling his inner champion and boasting for everyone to hear. The whole village just erupts in cheers. Their leader has snatched victory from the absolute jaws of defeat. But the day's not over yet. Remember the Romans, led by Centurion Crismus, they were just waiting to move in after their champion won, while now they're facing an entire village of superpowered Gauls. The battle that follows is short, it's chaotic, and it is completely one-sided. It ends with the Romans making a very, very hasty retreat. So, with the Romans routed and the challenger dealt with, life in the village can finally get back to normal. And how do our indomitable Gauls celebrate a victory? Well, with a massive feast, of course. Wild boar roasting over an open fire, music, dancing under the stars, it's the iconic, perfect ending. This story is just the perfect mix of high stakes and hilarious comedy. If you loved this detailed retelling, please give this a like and subscribe to our channel. It's honestly the best way to make sure you don't miss our next explainer. And as the celebration really gets going, we're left with that joyful, familiar cry from Obelix as he eyes the buffet. It's just a shout of pure, unfiltered happiness that perfectly captures the spirit of these Gauls. And that really brings us to a final thought. When you see this village all together celebrating after facing almost certain doom, it makes you ask a question. What's the real magic in this story? Is it the potion that gives them superhuman strength? Or is it that unbreakable bond of a community that refuses to give up on each other no matter how bad things get? Thanks for watching.